All right, hello out there, and welcome to the Holy Hour podcast, the All Cure podcast. We are coming to you on a Friday night, a special Friday night edition this time, even though this won't be posted on a Friday night. We're recording it on a Friday night, which means that something special is going down. And for all of you out there that have been stranded, especially here in the U.S., without seeing these wonderful festival shows, have noticed that Anniversary, the Hyde Park show, came out this week, and I'm joined by the one and only Chaz. How's it going, man?
It's going all right. How are you?
Pretty good. Thanks for joining me for this movie theater. It's like a movie review this time. It feels like a whole different podcast now. It's like on cinema. But yeah, thanks, man. For we were like, because you weren't sure you were going to be able to see this thing, right?
Yeah, I was supposed to work, and I completely forgot to request off, and then I posted it, and somebody took it. So
awesome.
We have an app at work that we can post our shifts at and look at when we're working and whatever, if we clocked in and out at the same time. So
awesome.
That's cool. It's cool.
Yeah, well, thanks to whoever that kind person was that allowed you to swap your shifts.
Thank you, Mark.
Mark, yeah, shout out to Mark. So, pretty cool. So, yeah, and I was planning on recording a little before and after with my friend that I went to the show with, but of course, running late with trying to have dinner beforehand. We hadn't hung out in a while, so we're catching up on real life stuff too, and kind of racing over to the theater, so I didn't really get a chance to do it beforehand, and then we all kind of had to go our separate ways real quick after the show, so didn't get to do it in the moment, but it's only one day, right? So last night, was it? Yeah. So,
yeah.
So it should be fresh in our heads still, but
getting out just about this time last night.
Yeah, so pretty cool, and it was kind of neat just seeing everybody all over social media getting their picture with the movie poster, which I should have done, but I didn't. I felt a little.
I didn't see one at my theater, so I didn't. Yeah.
Yeah, I was surprised ours had it, but it was,
You didn't punch the glass and take it?
It crossed my mind, but there was a few too many people around. But
I've stolen so much shit from movie theaters.
Yeah.
In my younger days, that if I would have seen it, I would have tried to figure out how to steal
it. Been in your DNA, just the instinct.
Yeah. Yeah, I once stole like a 10-foot long, like one of those banners for the movie 8-Legged Freaks.
Nice.
I don't even know why. I just was like, I'm going to take that. So I ripped it off the wall and ran outside and dove in the bushes and waited for somebody to drive around and pick me up. So.
Right. All those
Too bad.
Great idea at the time things. It's like, I can't even hang this on a wall in my house.
I know.
One day when I get my home theater. Awesome. Well, speaking of the theater, I guess we would just kind of dive into it then, if you're cool with that.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's do it.
Reliving our experiences and comparing notes and what we thought about it. And I guess where'd you see it at? What was the theater and what'd you think?
Well, when I originally was looking up tickets, the closest theater that had it was like almost an hour from the house. Wow. So that's kind of why I didn't request the time off, because it was like I don't really feel like driving there and driving back.
Yeah.
So then I looked earlier this week or later last week, and I saw that the theater, probably about 10 minutes from my house, was showing it.
Nice.
So I was just like, oh shit. So it's a pretty big movie theater. It's the Regal and King of Prussia.
Okay.
And they do a lot of the Phantom. I think that's what it's called. Like those previews you see before the movies of like they're showing Les Mis or something like that.
Right. Yeah.
One night only. So, I used to go there all the time for movies, and now I think I was there like once all of this year besides last night. So, I was expecting those mechanical seats that you sit in and you can lean back and sit up and lay down, but no, we got the shitty
it was a pretty standard one.
The standard shitty seats that hurt my back, and but it was what it was. But I mean, it was it's decent sized theater, so probably about a 100 to 150 seats.
Okay.
So I would probably say it was about half full.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Huh.
So
Yeah, you asked me how many were in mine too, and I'm always so terrible at numbers. It's just something I've never been good at. Man, I think it's been self-programmed from playing shows when people are like, "Well, how many people rate your show?" I was like, "Oh, easily a 500," but it's like 50. But I think ours was fairly small though. But yeah, and kind of surprisingly, in the same line, like. We have like a couple indie theaters here in town, and I thought if it was going to show up, I was really doubtful that it was going to show up in any of them. But I thought for sure it would be one of the more indie ones. But it was kind of a big, like you're saying, it was kind of on par with like a Regal or something. They were called the Carolinas at some point, which was just kind of a just generic format style theater. But then Cinemark took it over.
Oh yeah,
which I think is like a chain kind of thing, or they just kind of swoop in. And because I saw a lot of people were at other Cinemark ones, and they do a great job though for it being like kind of a corporate whatever chain type thing, and they do have like like you're saying with all the kind of one-off things and. With the opera shows or whatever like this, where you do, I got tickets. They're gonna show the Muppet movie like anniversary in like a couple weeks.
I saw a preview for that last night.
Yeah, so that's cool, and so definitely have to give props to Cinemark somehow too. But I was a little surprised even just seeing other people on social medias where it wasn't like some total indie, movie kind of place for a lot of it. I thought it would be a little more exclusive that way, so I don't know if that's cooler or weirder or what, but it did seem like they got some good distribution of this thing out there, so who knows. But
did you recognize anybody there?
No, not one person. It was a strange crowd. It was technically supposed to be full. I looked at it like a week before, and there was only like 3 seats left, but I felt like we went in pretty early and it wasn't filled in. And then I dodged out once real quick at one point, and I felt like I saw a few scattered empty seats, like a little more than I thought. But, it seems like I want to say it's only like 50. There were the big comfy, like, huge space in between all the seats. We had the big super recliners and everything, which is funny you said that because I totally kind of hate that, actually. I hate being too comfortable when I'm watching something because I just want to, like...
You fall asleep?
Yeah, I just get, like, old man factor where it's like especially something like this where I want to be a little uncomfortable. It keeps me in the thing, I just, like, feel detached a lot of times when I'm watching a movie. If I'm too comfortable, I just start, like, like, put my feet up, and whole idea of watching The Cure with like my feet in the air eating popcorn is just so weird. It's just like this would never happen. So I was trying to be as uncomfortable as possible. I put the seat down, like my friend was all like sprawled out, but I was like all upright and uncomfortable.
That would have been me.
So but yeah, it was a weird little theater. I thought like the screen and everything was like great size, and the sound I felt like they could have cranked it a little more in mine, but it was good that they didn't overdo it. But
I saw somebody else complain about that on social media that it wasn't loud enough.
Yeah, I just feel
mine was pretty good.
Pretty good. Yeah. I think it's more in
Mm.
comparison of I think they overdo it for a lot of like just whatever action movie you're seeing, or it's just like everything's just blown the hell out. I'm like, well, this will be cool. At least they'll totally crank it, and it was like, no, it was good. It was kind of good too, where it wasn't like overwhelming or anything by any means. So, but yeah, as far as the crowd, definitely older people. I saw a couple Cure T-shirts. Somebody had like a Wish tour T-shirt on.
Yep.
The girl right next to me was probably the youngest person in the room, and she was with like her parents, I think, or mom and mom's friend or something. And I thought I overheard her say that she was at the show, but I didn't want to like look like a creep and try to. So kind of just went into shy mode again and didn't ask.
On my podcast?
Yeah, she seemed cool, but otherwise, it was definitely people older than me, even. So, that I would never expect to be a Cure fan if I just walked past them in the lobby, even, but that's always one of the reoccurring strange things about Cure shows, I guess. Now it's like you can never really even spot Cure fans anymore. It's just all kinds, I guess, which is cool.
Who was the guy that we met at the Hall of Fame? There were a ton of people in there that like kind of reminded me of him. Like you would have never expect them to be Cure fans. So there was an interesting crowd. So
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I took my son, so he's 10.
Cool.
And it was kind of like, I didn't have to twist his arm or anything. I was just like, hey, I'm going to go see a movie about The Cure when they played last year. Do you want to go? And he was like, yep. I was like, okay.
Awesome.
So I was like, I'll buy the tickets and we'll go tomorrow. So we stopped and got candy and stuff.
Nice.
And we got there, we got popcorn and soda and everything. And then we walked in and there was 4 people in there altogether. So I brought little slips with my t-shirt business on it, and then with the podcast on it too, and handed those out to those people. And then slowly more people kept coming in, and there were 2 ladies sitting next to us. The one sitting right next to me, I handed her a slip, and she was really cool about it. The other person she was with kind of blew me off. I was like, all right, whatever. Yeah. And then some dude just came in and sat next to us that was like, could have been my father kind of thing. Like he was young, he was older, and like he was dressed in like a polo shirt,
right?
And like was just sitting there. Like I would have never expected him like The Cure, but he just leaned over and started talking to my son. Like,
nice.
You a fan? You like The Cure? And he's just like, yeah. And then I gave him a slip, and he seemed like he was really into it. But
cool.
Yeah, he was singing the whole time.
Yeah.
Not my son, this guy.
That's awesome.
There was some guy in my row all the way down the end that was playing. He was playing air guitar, or not air guitar. He was playing air drums and then doing like air synths during the whole thing. I was laughing, but Jonas and I, we had fun, and we were playing drums on each other, and like. Nice. When one lullaby came on, he started playing synths on my arm, so it was funny. Cool. So the crowd was interesting. So I saw a lot more people when I was coming out. Like when we came out, I was like, all right, it's time for me. I'll hand out the slips to everybody coming out, and like as everybody was pouring out, I was like, yeah, they're not going to even know how to get on a podcast. They probably don't know what Instagram is. Like I'm just like, I don't relate to any of these people. And then a few people walked out, and I gave them to them. Everybody gave it to. Seemed pretty cool. But it was. I got maybe like 15 out. But cool. It was like there was a couple Cure shirts. I saw a couple Disintegration shirts. I saw a Head on the Door shirt.
Nice.
I saw a recent tour, looked like a recent tour shirt, like terrible art with the drop C on it, and but it seemed like a lot of people were coming home from work.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, who knows? Well, if one of those people that got your slip and is checking out the podcast now, welcome.
Hello. I'm not making fun of you.
No, it was the other people, not you. So Jonas, your son was into it. Did he have a good experience then?
Yeah, he had fun.
That was cool.
He didn't know it was going to be that long.
Yeah.
So
that was kind of my deciding factor. I was like a little torn too. I was like, I should bring my kid because I'll probably never be able to take him to a show. But he's on, a good chunk younger, I guess. And it was a little later, so it'd be kind of getting towards that bedtime-ness. And I was like, I don't think he'd pull it off. If it was like an hour maybe, but like, what was it, like 2.5 hours maybe at least?
Yeah. And he leaned over to me, I think, after the end of Lullaby, and was just like, how much longer? And I was just like, it's not that much longer. Just I'll tell you when. So but he made it through. So he said he had fun and he enjoyed it. So
awesome. Cool. Yeah, my hot date for the evening was my bandmate and friend Eric. He was a good sport and joined me. So he'd never seen them live, even though he's pretty well versed in their music and seen a bunch of live clips and stuff. So he was kind of, I think, genuinely blown away by it. He, who knows, maybe he's just being nice and trying to be polite to me. But I think he was genuinely like, holy shit, I had no idea that, just getting the full experience of, start to finish with one of their live shows like that, seeing it so up close like that, I think would be pretty impressive compared to like YouTube clips, and stuff like that. So hopefully, he seemed to really have a good time. He said when we left, he said he was going to go home and drink a bottle of wine and play bass guitar all night. So
there you go.
He was inspired. So pretty cool.
I'm kind of interested to see what ticket sales were, just because when I bought my tickets, I went to all the other theaters in the area, and there were probably within 50 miles. There was probably 10 to 15 theaters showing it, which I thought was pretty good.
Yeah.
And I went to each of the sites, and the ones where you could reserve your own seats, which we had at our theater. Most of them were over half filled. So I'm kind of interested to see what kind of, not that it matters, but like what kind of money they made off of this, because I didn't imagine, like, I thought there was going to be like 4 people there. So I didn't expect to be like 50 to 75 people there.
Yeah, me too. I mean, I guess it's like everything with The Cure. You shouldn't be that surprised, but at the same time, it always does just feel like you're going to be, there's a chance you could be the only one there. So, especially, out here in the mountains and shit, at least. But, so that's pretty cool. Going back to what you said with the getting into it while watching it, that was something that I was a little torn on and curious of what other people were going to do. As far as, obviously my natural urge was to stand through the whole thing and clap after every song. But of course I wasn't going to stand in a movie theater, and even clapping after a song seemed ridiculous in all actuality. But a few people did. So everybody in our theater anyway would clap after like one that they thought you could tell was particularly awesome. And so it was kind of like a little scattered applause after each song, and then we all had a big applause at the end. Nobody standing, nobody dancing. Definitely a lot of bopping around in the seats. But
I saw some people comment that people were dancing in the aisles or wherever. I'm just like, okay. Yeah. I mean, my natural state is not to, do any of that stuff. So, but I mean, every time I've seen them, I stood up, and like if there's a song I like, I'll shake my hips. But that's about it. I was like, I always feel weird like when people clap at a theater, like at the end of a movie. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. It's just, I guess it's just a sign of appreciation.
Yeah, that's why I think it felt better. So, than clapping in between the songs seemed really goofy because they're not there. Yeah. But like clapping at the end was like you're applauding the whole production more. Or it was like, okay, that makes more sense. Yeah. But it's pretty.
I think the guy next to us kind of broke the ice for everybody because he like was, after playing song, he just like kind of went nuts with like clapping and hooting, and so I think everybody else is like kind of brought down the guard on everybody, and they're like, okay, we can do it too. So this is, I clapped here and there.
Yeah, but I didn't expect the not singing along thing to be as hard as like, because at a Cure show it's so loud, and or you're like in the thing so much you could sing along and nobody really hears you or anything, but it's like, I was like, oh yeah, nobody can really built it out here because you're going to be really annoying to the people next to you. Yeah. Stuff like that. But, so yeah, that's tough. And even with the like clapping, as much as I didn't want to even do it after the song, I kept catching myself. I had like the beer I got there, and after each song would end, just out of habit or whatever, I'd put the beer down and just like kind of awkwardly hold my hands together. I was like, oh yeah. But pretty weird. A lot of chuckles too. Anytime Robert would do anything weird or mumbly, you would just kind of hear little chuckles in between the songs, or I guess they would just
there were good laughter here and there. So it was nice.
Pretty cool. So I guess going into the show too, it was odd just of like what to anticipate and stuff, because it's a show that's like a year old. It was a pretty well investigated show as it was happening and afterwards, and like for diehard fans and stuff, so we all knew the set list going into it. We knew there wasn't anything like crazy weird that was going to happen or anything. We knew that everything was going to go smoothly. It was more just like the big question mark was how Tim Pope was going to show us this thing. I mean, we knew that it was going to be like sunny through half of it. We've all seen the pictures and everything. So it was a little weird because we did have that so much already knowledge of the show going into it.
Well, I confused this show going into it. I was just like, I'm really excited to see the set list so I can see it live, because I confused it with that other one they did where they played a song off each album and went back and forth.
Oh yeah, the meltdown
thing. Yeah. And then they started with plain song, and I'm like, oh, what the fuck is going on? And I'm like, oh, you idiot. And I was just like, that's not this. And I'm just like,
Festival
okay.
set list.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought the sun being out, like, kind of took away
Yeah.
from the first half of not even the first half, but, good chunk of the set. Just because I don't really want to see Plain Song
In the
where
sun, yeah.
in the sun,
It
I'm
is
fine
weird.
with like high playing when the sun's out and everything, but
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to see those songs like when it's bright out. So
Yeah, a
it
night
just
like
kind
this
of
and it's not even dark out is just kind of weird, you know? It's like,
yeah,
even pictures of you, I felt like it didn't have quite the oomph it should, you know? Because it was like,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, he even had a comment. I think that he had a lot of really good ones that I'll have to watch about 30 times to decipher properly, but something about like how he wasn't going to address the crowd until the sun goes down because it
Yeah,
just felt weird or something. But yeah, I did think that was weird. It worked cool once it was like
like dusk.
sunset more. Yeah,
Yeah,
like because then it
yeah,
was like, and then it even dawned on me. It's like, oh, he's playing in between days now, and that's just kind of because they kind of are in between days with the sun
yeah.
going. You know? But
All
yeah,
planned out.
yeah, totally. And so that worked cool because you did get some cool like sun glare and stuff like that with the shots. But yeah, like those first
Yeah.
few definitely did seem a little awkward. But I mean, I guess there's only so much
I
you
mean,
could
it's nothing
do.
you can do. Yeah, it's not
Yeah,
much you can do about it. But you go back to like In Orange and like
yeah.
Show and all the other ones. There's like this like mood
Mm-hmm.
that was set prior to them going on stage,
Yeah.
and just having the sun like beating down on the fans and on the stage. I was just it didn't feel right, and that's kind of why I hate going to festivals
Yeah.
and doing all because I don't know. I just kind of feel like music is best served in like a cold, dark environment.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it doesn't
You
feel
know,
right, you know.
so it just that's like I saw them when I saw them at Madison Square Garden in 2016 compared to when I saw them at Merriweather,
Mm-hmm.
like less than a week later. Merriweather, when they started playing, it was still the sun was still out,
Yeah.
so it didn't have the same mood. It didn't, it didn't really matter that it was like outside and then MSG was inside. It
Mm-hmm.
was just like the fact that like the sun was out and it was like really hot, and it just compared to MSG where it's all air conditioning, and
Right.
it just kind of took away from the whole entire mood. And I
Yeah.
feel like some of the sound leaves when it's outside compared to inside.
Yeah,
So
for
I
sure.
mean, yeah. So I was just looking over at like some of the older concerts that they filmed, like even Trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't imagine them playing Trilogy outside when the sun,
Yeah.
when the sun's out.
Yeah.
So,
That wouldn't
but
have worked at all. So.
yeah, so I thought
Yeah.
the mood was kind of ruined to start off, but as the sun went down, it got better. So
Mm-hmm.
that would be my
Yeah.
first knock.
Right on. So yeah, I guess just diving in then to what Tim Pope brought to the stage and in part a full review of what we saw.
Mm-hmm.
Not so much the band's playing, but yeah, what were your main feelings? Did you like what he did work with? I think in one of those interviews he said something about it was fairly spontaneous for something this big of a deal, where he was kind of limited by the cameras he had and stuff.
Yeah,
But that
I
probably
don't
means
know if it is it true that Robert didn't tell anybody in the band that it was being filmed for a movie or anything. That's what I read that somewhere, but I'm like, with all the cameras there, I don't
yeah, they
believe
definitely
they.
knew while it was happening. Maybe not
Yeah,
till like the day of or something. So yeah,
yeah,
it sounded like it was like kind of on the low key leading up to it. Like or even Tim Pope didn't have a ton of like preparation time in advance.
yeah,
But at the same time enough. And yeah, maybe the other guys were. They got to be set. They pretty much film like every big show at this or any show at
yeah,
this point. It seems like you see enough of like professional shot of anything they do, so they
yeah,
got to be like whatever. I mean, it might have been a pretty big deal in hindsight when they realized Tim Pope was doing it, but I mean,
yeah.
I think everything about this show was a big deal, so they had to know.
Yeah,
But
I think not the only thing, but one of the things that bothered me was that there was no before show, nothing leading up to it. Like there was
yeah,
nothing.
they just went straight into it.
They went straight into it, and I felt it it was less personal than it could have been.
Yeah.
Like there was no interview, there was no let's show the fans prior going in, let's let's see them messing around backstage or anything like that. It was just like, bam, there's the band and they're playing. So I thought that took away a little of it, and like I thought he could have done more to make it more of a personal experience. So, but as far as just straight up filming, I thought it was good. Mm-hmm. I like the back camera a lot behind Jason.
Yeah,
I thought that was rad. And I like the faraway shots, just seeing the whole entire crowd.
Yeah.
Gives you, like, I didn't even know how many people were there until I
saw
that. It was like, holy shit.
Which
I had no idea there were 2 side stages where they just had like a giant screen set up.
Yeah, I think even like halfway all the way back there was like a whole other screen. So it was
wherever they have the soundboard, they usually set one up behind it. Just because, if the soundboard's there, you're not gonna be able to see anything, so they put that there as a courtesy, I guess.
Yeah.
But it was immense.
Yeah.
And I like that he captured how big of a crowd it was.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, he could have done other things. But I mean, were there any effects on any of the songs until I think the walk?
They did lay off it for quite a while. That's why I thought it was a little weird that when they did come in. And it was all fairly subtle for the most part. I thought there was a couple as it got going when it started getting into the psychedelic lens or filter or whatever going on, and he did lay off it for at least through
2 or 3
probably
songs,
the walk,
like
the high and Pitches You, I think, but
I like the fisheye lens that he was using. I wish he would have used it more.
There was a couple of really cool ones like that, and I was cool with the shots. I thought that they did a good job, and it was choppy, like a lot of quick cuts, but at the same time, it never felt like MTV, like ADD overkill kind of thing, so those things can be a lot, when they're just like cutting all over the fucking place, but we're trying to make it too like hip and cool or whatever. It was just kind of like just the right amount of like cool guitar shots and stuff like that. Definitely a lot of awesome shots of Simon's tattoos and shit like that, almost to the point where like, do we need to see the Cure in 4K HD, whatever the fuck, but at the same time, it was so cool because you never really do see them that clear and that big and that close up, but there was definitely a few shots, like you were saying before we started, of in Jason's ear, I think at one point.
I don't need to see Jason Cooper anymore in my life. Like that that was like my limit. And like he had the same expression through every song. It was like watching a machine. It was just like he didn't look up. He didn't twirl a drumstick.
No pointing at the camera with his drumstick.
Yeah.
Motley Crue style.
Yeah, he didn't smile. It was just like bam, 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 bam. And
probably would have to be like playing like a fucking Cure set like that.
Yeah.
It's like surprised there wasn't like guacamole coming out of his ear or something. It's like, oh, shit, blood coming out of his nose. Like,
it was. Yeah, it was. Yeah, I don't need to see him anymore. And I definitely like the close-ups of, Simon and like everybody else. I think again with the sun, I think it takes away a lot of the drama with the band. I mean, seeing somebody in dark clothes in the middle of the sunlight, it doesn't really do much. So, but I actually thought about getting that tattoo Simon has with the heart and the knife going through it.
Yeah,
I was just like, I think I might get that. So,
totally.
I've seen it a million times before, but like seeing it that close up, it was just like, I like that. So
looks good.
Reeves was, the close-ups of Reeves were relatively boring, except when he was like wailing away on the guitar.
Yeah. So like you said earlier, he's definitely not the most dynamic. He makes Robert look like like Simon up there, basically.
Yeah. He makes him look like Axl Rose up there.
Yeah, which I guess would be weirder if he was all rocking it all up and hopping around on one leg and shit. But,
just you can move,
Yeah, maybe move a little bit, but
yeah.
Totally. But yeah, so that's pretty cool. Even when they did kick in the filters, like I said, the psychedelic one was probably the
Mm-hmm.
most over the top it got, at one point. And but still, I didn't feel like it took away. Like as much as I even love Show compared to a lot of people, don't like that as one of the concert ones. But I was always fine with Show. I thought that was cool. But like, I did feel like the ones where they cut to like complete black and white and stuff totally brought you out of it. Like where
Yeah,
they
I can
kind of
see that.
overdid it
Yeah.
in that one a bit. Um, but yeah, I didn't really feel like I lost any of like the feel of like I wasn't in the show as much as I could be by watching it. I felt I did
Yeah.
get like a sensory overload kind of thing, but that was probably more me than anything that was going on. Where I felt like around like maybe it was around like If Only Tonight We Could Sleep, because the mood did go down a lot
Yeah.
at that
Yeah.
point, or
Yeah.
even I kind of felt like even like beginning of a forest or something. I was definitely in it and enjoying every second, of course, but it was like I felt like I was just like, ooh, like maybe because I was just trying to absorb like every little thing, like every little guitar, every little thing, and
Yeah.
detail, and the sound and everything. And it's like almost watching like an action movie, but like the whole thing would be what people get out of normal action movies, maybe that I don't.
Yeah.
Same time, I was just like, ooh, I just kind of had to like snap myself out of it and like sit up and, you know.
No, I know exactly where you're. I did the same thing because I was sitting there and I'm just like, I'm not disinterested right now. I don't know like why I'm feeling this way, and I should be really into this, but I'm not at the moment. And I'm thinking, well,
Yeah.
I saw them do the not pornography, the disintegration shows. I ended up watching the Glastonbury
Yeah.
set, and I watched the one live feed, and this is all what within a month.
Yeah.
And top of all the stuff that we do for the show, and then all the stuff that we that I do for like the shirts and just
Mm-hmm.
in general, just listening to the Cure in general, and then watching all the other concerts. Because stupidly, I went back and watched another concert this last week. I'm just
Right.
like, I
To
I
get
felt
pumped.
I felt yeah, and like I felt kind of saturated at that moment.
Yeah.
So, but like once. I think it was once Burn started.
Yeah, I was trying
I
to think
came
of what
back
snapped
into
me
it.
out of it too, and I think it was
Yeah,
around Burn, which is pretty cool. That was
yeah. And plus the dark the sun had gone down and everything was dark again, and
yeah.
they had they had cool enough stuff in the background going on.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to remember what song it was where I thought the backdrop was really rad, but I don't remember off the top of my head.
Yeah, it was
Um,
weird because they do have such great. They've been using most of that stuff since the 2016 tour, but during the daylight you couldn't see
yeah,
any of
couldn't
that
see it at
shit,
all.
so it
Yeah,
was like lame, and or just
yeah.
like but yeah, so it's pretty cool. Yeah, I don't know what was with that. Maybe another viewing. We'll see if the same thing happens or not. But yeah, I felt like I just kind of like had to pull myself up or something
Yeah,
from the
I
abyss.
just I'm just gonna blame it on the fact that I felt at the moment I was like saturated with everything that all the Cure stuff that I've been
Yeah,
into lately and haven't stopped
it is a
for
lot, and
yeah
it is kind of
yeah
strange where it's like as much as I'm totally happy this exists and love the experience and everything, it is kind of like live DVDs has never been anything, or footage has never
yeah
like been a shortage of all the billion things that we want the Cure to put out and stuff.
yeah
It's like even all the old ones they haven't officially re-released, you can still track them down in pieces somewhere.
yeah
Get your old VHSs out. I mean, there's never been a shortage of live stuff, so it's kind of like, cool. It's still kind of going back to what you said. Like, I didn't anticipate any like backstage or break in the set, but it is
yeah
just like crazy how hard, like I was saying, how hard it is to any band to film, especially these long ass shows. It's like this is 2.5 hours of one band. You could be the most energetic, like crazy wild band on stage, and it's gonna be tough to pull off just filming a
mm-hmm.
band for that long. That's like fucking challenging, man. And it's like, and I guess he pulled it off with An Orange was pretty long too, I guess, even though that was older. But yeah, I don't know
Yeah,
what you could do. I think like putting stuff in there, like, and maybe even why there was no intro type thing was because the set was just so long that
maybe
if they
yeah
did have them just like, the thing about the show is, and like then it's like going into like 3 hour territory, but it's but who knows? Maybe they could have cut. I was glad they didn't cut a few of the songs though. I was getting a little worried at the end that maybe they would have trimmed set list and it wouldn't have been the actual full
they
set list?
they could have cut a few of the songs.
Probably could. I'm glad they didn't, but yeah, I mean, and then you could put the entire thing on the DVD or something. But yeah, maybe could have done something like that to spice it up a little bit more. But I mean, in all actuality, though, I didn't really feel like it lost me at any point. It was just kind of like I just ran out of mental steam at some point around that middle. But even that, looking at the set list now, I was fairly early in it, really. But anyway, did you have any standout songs that you were surprised that you enjoyed more than others? Because I had a couple I was like not anticipating getting that into it. But
Caterpillar.
Yeah.
I was into just because of how playful they were on stage.
Yeah.
With each other, and I thought that was really cool. The crowd went in the theater went fucking wild during Friday I'm in Love, and I'm just like,
mine too.
All right, it's fine, whatever. That's cool.
That actually was one of my ones that stood out, though, that I wasn't anticipating enjoying it. But I felt like they oomphed it up. It was definitely like had some like a little more rocking to it or something. Maybe they boosted the sound or something for that one because it is the song or something. But I felt like the angles started changing up a bit and stuff too. Where it came back, I was like, whoa.
I thought Burn was one of my favorite songs on the whole set.
Yeah.
Just the mood with that and everything. I'm trying, I thought they did an amazing job doing those last 4 songs.
Yeah, that was probably one of the highlights for me. It was just it kind of made it all make sense too, and what the whole point of it was, and like kind of brought it all full circle. It was cool.
I thought that Robert did a great job singing those songs because he sang them like a young teenager. Like he was, it sounded snotty and quick and just like right to the punch. I thought those were I thought they were definitely a highlight for me, just because it kind of brought back the old punk days kind of thing, and I was just like, because I had seen them do that before, those songs, and I didn't really feel like that was the case.
Yeah,
but like with just this, it was just like, it sounded like he was a young kid again, just the way he was singing them. So
especially that like segue from like in between jumping someone else's train into grinding halt. That was just rad. Maybe because that one is a slightly rarer one. That was kind of a huge highlight for me too. I was just like, oh shit. But yeah, that's pretty rad. End of the World, actually, for a song I'm not that crazy about. That was another weird one where I was like, I felt like they really rocked it out really good.
Yeah, I thought so too.
It was like a really well performed, because I've heard like bootlegs of that one where it sounds pretty thin and kind of crappy, or it just doesn't quite mesh the way the recording is and stuff. But I felt they just really pounded that one and made it a little heavier, maybe a little faster or something. But and then of course like Push and Play for Today always sound great. Anything like that,
I was just gonna say Push.
So those are pretty cool when they get the crowd singing along to the keyboard part and everything. You can't go wrong with that. But
I think between, because I'm trying to remember where the live cast was that they did in, I think it was Eastern Europe. A couple of weeks ago, and you could not hear the crowd. It was a terrible audio, and like you couldn't hear the crowd at all. And if I'm gonna listen to a live show, I want to hear the crowd. And this was, I thought he did a great job getting the audio from the crowd. So,
that was cool.
Yeah, and then when in a forest where Simon was playing the bass at the end.
Yeah.
And then he like was joking around and didn't play the one bass note he was supposed to, and like everybody sang along to it, and then he didn't do it, and he just started laughing. I thought that was cool. I like that a lot. Yeah,
so. That was a cool touch. Yeah, Forrest in particular too. I mean, that always sounds great live. But, that was another one that stood out. I was like, oh shit. Pretty cool. Did you have any that you had noted from like specific members doing like really blowing it out more than you thought they normally would, or just cool to see them?
From the Edge of a Deep Green Sea, I love that song on like listening to it not live. But like when it happens live, sometimes it might be all the layering that they're not putting into it on stage. But I don't feel like that song has the same power it does when I hear it on vinyl or CD or whatever.
Right.
With this incarnation of the band, with the audio, all I could hear for a while was just Roger just hitting that one note over and over and over again. And that was
maybe
annoying.
Donald's just ruined it for us now.
Maybe.
It's all
but
we can
then,
hear.
Yeah. But then Reeves fucking slayed on that song.
Mm-hmm.
I was super impressed with that. That was the one moment where I was like, yo, this guy's fucking amazing. Like he just blew it out. Like that was the one song I was just like, wow, that's crazy. But I mean, as far as everything else goes, I thought Robert did really well with Lullaby.
Yeah.
And what was the one song where he shoved his fingers in his mouth?
High. Yeah.
Was it High? Yeah.
Like twice, I believe.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty funny.
Him first, and then that was cool. Yeah, he was definitely had the passion level up a few notches. He was into it.
Yeah.
You could tell it was.
I don't have really anything to say about Jason just because there's not really anything to say. I mean, I don't think he didn't fuck anything up, and I don't think he like went over the top and blew anything out.
He always just kind of lays it down the way he needs to.
Yeah, Simon's just fucking Simon.
Yeah,
I mean,
he's pretty much across the board. He was.
Yeah, I love that he moves around on stage, and I love that he interacts with. It seems like everybody in the band.
Yeah.
So, got to give it up to him to keep it entertaining with everybody in the band.
Mm-hmm.
So, and like you said, Robert seemed like he was more animated and into it than, not that he normally is, but just
right. Just
he seemed like he was on top of his game, and his voice is just fucking amazing. I don't know how, I just don't get it that he's that old, doing concerts for like three hours a night and just nailing everything. You would think his voice would be shot, and it's not. It's beautiful. I think,
I mean, it would be totally legit at this point in his life and career to bump a key down here or there. You know, I mean, there's shit I can't sing. You know, and it's like they're just high, man. Those ranges are crazy up there, and it's like, and you know, there's definitely ones like where a night like this now he sings it a little different, and you know, kind of takes like the lower register on parts of them and stuff, which you know. I always kind of like, it's always a little better when he belts it out, but at the same time, totally acceptable and sounds great still, you know, and there's just like, and then he'll like always surprise you where he'll do that for like half the verse, but then he'll just like cut loose for the last part of it, so he kind of knows when to use it too. I think he's just gotten so smart with his voice and probably knows what the hell he can do and what he can't, you know, when to save it for this show or that show. So, because even my notes, I guess, for like specific members, I had Disintegration, the song for Robert, even though he did, you know, he's been doing that pretty much all the time now for that song where he has to kind of bump it down at times and get it to
he definitely does,
but it was weird because he just seems so overly emotional. Even that happens a lot on that song, but he was just, you know, definitely like about to crack up. It seemed almost by the end of it on this one. It was just like, whoa, he's getting it. And that was pretty cool to see from our perspectives. Hopefully it was totally torturing himself. But and I had Roger down for Close to Me is always just impressive as hell for me to watch. I mean, it's always there, and he's doing it since he's ever been in the band, but like just always amazes me that he's playing all those little doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doots and stuff while he's doing like, you know, when they had like Pearl and Lowell and, you know, like other multiple keyboardists doing it, he just does it so like, you know, without missing a beat or seamless, you know. It's just like impressive. And I noticed on this one too, I don't know if they've been doing this like forever or what, but it was only on one section, but he switched it to a trumpet sound just for like one little section where he actually went to the
he
normally
did,
like the synth, and I was like it was
that
like really rad.
I think it might have been the first time he did it, because I noticed that too, because I was tapping my son's arm when he was playing that part, And I kind of looked up at the screen because I was looking at him. I looked at the screen. I was just like, oh, that sounds like what other version I'd heard it on.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
I was
I
just
don't
like,
know how
oh,
regular
cool.
that is or what. I want to go back and listen to see if that kind of sneaks in there occasionally or what. But I'd never heard that before. And it was only for like one little section. Then he switched it back to just the normal strings. But yeah, I thought he killed that. Like Reeves, and even though it's not my particularly favorite song or that style, but on Never Enough, of course, it was just totally zoomed in that he was just cutting loose with his wacka chicka wham whams and all over the place. I mean, it was a little over the top, but it was just kind of cool to see him cut loose on a song like that where it doesn't really matter, It's a good one for him to just do his thing on and kind of show him off a bit, I guess, for that. It's like, it is like kind of wanking a bit, but at the same time, it's like if he's gonna do it on one, I'd rather even do it on that than so it's kind of cool to see him cut loose.
At least they didn't play wrong number, I guess.
Totally. And Jason is always just cool and consistent, like you said. But Burn and Caterpillar, I think, are always good ones to watch what the hell he's doing and still be amazed. So those were my standout performances of the evening from individual members. I feel like I'm doing an award show. Back to Tim Pope with the Easter eggs thing. He was pretty much open about saying that he was going to reference a lot of things with camera angles and to keep your eyes peeled and stuff that he had referenced from his videos that he's done with them.
I'm gonna have to
go here and there, but I didn't really see by any means it was subtle as fuck. I feel like if he did do it, maybe I just missed it because I was kind of eyes wide open for 2.5 hours trying not to miss anything, but I probably missed all of them. But
I'm gonna have to go back and watch it again just because I know there's definitely stuff that I missed. I did like a shot that they
even
did
in Orange, he did more of that with like In Between Days and stuff, where he did like the guitar and hit neck of the guitar with the camera on it and stuff like the video. And but I didn't really feel like there was too much of that going on.
I did like the shot that he did with where the tree kind of took up like a third or a fourth of the screen. Do you remember that shot? It might have been during Fascination Street. I don't remember, but it might have been during that. But like the tree, the two giant trees on the side of the stage, he had a camera that was on, might have been on one of the trees, and where you could see like the bark of the tree was taking up like about a quarter of the camera or the screen, and you could just see the band playing behind it. And I thought that was a good shot, and I like that one a lot. But I think playing between two giant trees was really rad.
The whole setup was great and the angles. But I didn't really catch too many, like, he was saying even like the walk in that interview. And I was like, I guess maybe it was like the quick kind of zoom in shots from the video walk. But I mean, I was expecting like a baby pool and some like sign language, so, wacky wardrobe change or something. No, I don't know. I thought there'd be
Lol in blackface.
Lol comes out in blackface for Why Can't I Be You or something. A little something like that. Just I don't know. But maybe I totally missed them, but.
I'm sure some fan out there like broke it all down or is gonna break it all down when it comes out on DVD, which I'm more than happy to read or to listen to or watch. So
but I mean, even so, it could only be like the camera angle, really. I mean, like I said, he's not putting props out there or anything that reference the songs.
I didn't see any. See, the only thing I saw that I don't even know if I saw, and I know I texted you to you last night about it, was that at the end of Friday I'm in Love, I swear to God, across the whole width of the screen, just along the middle, I saw like a flash. Do you remember on Fight Club where like he split in like a flash of like pornography? Like between frames. It looked like between frames there was just a line of those Friday I'm in Love hearts. And it was just like a split second. And I'm thinking that I really didn't see it, and it was just my mind playing tricks on me, which I hate because then I start questioning reality.
What else did I see?
So is this happening? I don't know if I'm here or not. So if anybody saw that, please just let me know that I'm not crazy. So, but that's the only thing I can think of that I saw that was like extracurricular. throughout the set, but I could be wrong. So
Yeah. Yeah. Multiple views are in order for that viewings. I think. But I felt like Play for Today had like a little strobe action going on, if I remember correctly, was going on, which would be a nod to In Orange more than anything else. But it was like, I think they did that during that song on In Orange. But I mean, maybe they do that on every time they've played Play for Today.
Yeah.
So, but I kind of thought that was the only thing I could think of. Where I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. And the shaky camera for Shake Dog Shake, but that's not even him. I feel like that always happens, like in the back screen or something, you know, where it just kind of shakes when he's saying shake, shake. But don't know.
Yeah. I would say the only thing I didn't like about it was that there were no songs from Pornography and no songs from Faith.
Yeah.
You would think if you're recognizing the 40-year anniversary, you would play, I mean, not one song each. I mean, you could play one song off each album.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Did they play anything off of Wild Mood Swings?
No, I don't think so. Yeah. Usually like Want or something would be in there, but nah. Nothing off of that. Nothing off of Blood Flowers either, right?
Yeah.
Which is
yeah.
And nothing off of 413. So I guess they did.
Yeah, but I mean, those two albums in particularly, like, it just kind of felt really weird that they didn't play anything off of those. I mean, they could have. I mean, we're gonna differ on what was that song? If tonight I could.
Only tonight we could sleep.
Yeah.
You said you weren't.
That song.
Never been a fan of that one then.
Yeah, and then they could have not played Never Enough, and that would have been fine.
Yeah.
So and then
you'd think even like Primary in 100 Years would have been a not shocking swap in for something, you know, kind of cover the bases and have two really cool songs in there. So, but,
you know, it is what it is. That's just me nitpicking, but you know, I thought it would have been cool.
Yeah, it would have been kind of a better way to represent the whole thing. But did you have to? So you said you stuck in there through the whole thing? Didn't have to pop out for a piss break?
No, my son did. He did during Never Enough, and I was like, you picked a good song to go to the bathroom. And he came back in, and I said, you missed the Love Cats, which is his favorite song. And he was like, are you serious? And I was like, no, they're not gonna play it.
Yeah, that's what I had to tell my kid when he was getting all jealous that I was going. And I was like, don't worry, they don't play Love Cats at it. And he's like, oh, okay, cool. I was like, but they do play Caterpillar. Sorry.
Sorry, kid.
But it popped out during Love Song, which I love. But since that was the one that they had on the preview, I felt like I'd already seen it.
Oh, okay.
So I was like, this will be a good one. So, but let's see. Moving on then. I guess is it wound down? Did you notice anything crazy in the credits? There wasn't anything.
I didn't even stick in the credits because I was just like my son stood up.
Home. Yeah,
and I was just like, all right, I guess we're going. So
I was waiting for some like Marvel behind the scenes or something. Like he discloses the true list of everything that isn't gonna happen. but I did just see
a post-credits surprise for the sequel.
Yeah, totally. But I saw our boy Keith Uden, the co-producer of 413 Dream, had some credit of something that I couldn't even remember. It was like tech supporter or something. So
good job, Udes.
So so he was in there, and I think Corkett, I forget what his first name is, was the guy that co-produced Blood Flowers. Did something similar like that, or some kind of technical advisor or something. So Steven,
what did Ross Robinson do?
Didn't see him in there, so that's probably why it was a pleasure to watch.
He just gets on stage and starts yelling in all their faces.
Yeah, he had a pre-show hype man, Ross Robinson. Just made him feel terrible beforehand. But so I don't know. Yeah, I don't really have any complaints with it. I guess because I had already accepted the set list by that point, so it was like hard to get upset about anything like that. But and I didn't really expect them to break it up with anything other than a live show, so I was happy with the way that they just kind of kept it rolling. And I think just the son being out was probably the only real. But,
Yeah.
so yeah, I've seen people complain about the no fan shots, though, kind of like as far as breaking up the just filming
monotony,
them for
everything.
Yeah. Do you think that would have helped anything, or like?
It would have helped a little bit, but I mean, it's more about them and not the. I mean, not that it's not about the fans, but it's. I don't know. And see, you go to different movies that they've done before.
Yeah.
Like in Orange and Show, where it seems like the fans are a little bit more involved.
Yeah.
But
they didn't really actually. Now that you say that, in Orange there weren't too many, if all any, maybe of like while they're playing.
Yeah.
I mean, there's definitely like cutaway kind of zoom back kind of things, but no like just close-ups of people screaming or anything in an Orange. I don't think. Right.
There were. I'd have to go back and watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah, there were a couple in this set. I know there were two guys that like ran toward each other and hugged each other during one song, but I forget what it was. Everybody laughed. I think one of them was like holding a beer, and they like just kind of ran to each other and hugged.
Yeah.
There were a few shots here and there, but I mean,
yeah,
you have to figure that if they're gonna do shots like that, you're putting up another camera with that many people there.
Yeah.
You're putting up one or two more cameras that's going to further, block other people's views. And, you'd probably have to use some kind of crane to get, the whole, get crowd, shots from above and everything like that. Which they already had at the time, but you're just asking for another one.
Right.
So, it's I don't know. Unless you're going to just keep people in the front row the whole time.
Right.
It's, but then they become like the star of the movie, and then they're not, you're not focusing on the band. But I think he did a pretty, well enough job. I just wanted to see the band interact with each other more off stage.
And even like the on-stage cameras, I think were great in the sense that it almost gave you, and a lot of that was the behind the Jason camera, where you kind of got the more of the vibe of like what they see when they play more than you would ever get, So it's kind of was cool to see that in a new kind of perspective where you never get anything from that when you see in whatever level of footage on YouTube or whatever the hell, So.
Yeah. Could have used more Simon Crotch shots, but he could have worn tighter
Never
pants.
have enough of those, right? So the DVD release, they did say at some point they plan on putting this out fairly quick, right? Wasn't that? Something
I heard.
Like an album and a DVD, or is this gonna be a whole nother thing we have to wait till he dies to get? Maybe.
Yeah, but who knows?
Yeah. So. But that would be cool. And then I got daydreaming. I was like, well, maybe they could bundle up the whole Tim Pope idea, and maybe they will put in Orange out as like a bonus disc with it or something. But
did he film Show? I was trying to look at it before it came.
No, he didn't. Yeah, I thought he did for like years, but then I looked back and I was like, oh wait, I didn't. Because they kind of had that falling out with him around that time.
Okay.
About halfway through Wish, so I think by the end of it he wasn't their dude for a little while. But hopefully this will come out, and hopefully have some extra stuff. Maybe there will be some more interviews or something like that too as bonus stuff on this. Would be kind of cool.
That'd be nice.
I thought I saw them say too that they're going to put it out as a live CD, which that'll be cool. But yeah. Again, there's no real shortage of that kind of stuff out there, but it'd be cool, especially if it comes with it, and it's not like its whole other thing. But
yeah. Throw that as a bonus in there and call it a day.
Why not? But,
they should put me in charge of all this shit. I'd have it done by now.
Exactly.
And everybody would be happy.
Yeah, we know. Steady job too. It'd be, plenty of stuff you could go through the archives. But.
Oh my God, yeah.
But I don't know. Overall, though, I think it was a wonderful experience, and definitely going back to the idea that we haven't had all these cool festivals here, and this was seeing the Cure for us in the U.S. and a lot of the parts of the world, I guess, still, but we had to absorb it. Cool. Well, thanks so much, man, and we hope everybody else out there enjoyed it, and feel free to send us your comments on it, too. We'd love to hear what everybody else thinks, and if we're missing something major, fill us in, but thanks for chatting with me about this epic night, Chaz.
No problem.
Cool. We'll catch you guys soon, and we'll catch you soon, and talk hard. Be sure to subscribe to the Holy Hour podcast on YouTube and iTunes or Apple Podcasts, whatever it's called, Stitcher, Google Play, Spotify, all the heavy hitters. We're out there. And check out the Facebook page where you can comment about this episode and all the others on Facebook page for the Holy Hour. Find us on Instagram at the Holy Hour Podcast. Contact me directly at gavinconnor@gmail.com. If you want to contribute in any way, send away. Send me audio clips, emails, any of that. We'd love to hear from you. Comments, concerns, questions of any sort. Let us know. So we want to hear from you guys. Chaz has a bunch of cool shirts he's always cranking out. Go on over to 17secondshirts.bigcartel.com to check out his t-shirt industry, and you can also follow him at 17_seconds on Instagram to get the latest on what he's stewing up as far as cool Cure shirts and other stuff. So yeah, all that's out there. We got some cool episodes on the horizon, and we look forward to getting them out to you soon. So keep your ears peeled, and we'll catch you next time on the Holy Hour. Thanks for listening.